Hi everybody, welcome back to my let's leave that open. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Christopher. Today I am so excited about being able to be here outside showing you the greenhouse completely built. Probably most of you, well, not most of you, but many of you haven't seen the greenhouse. It's for those of you who have been following me for a while, actually knew what kind of greenhouse I was supposed to have on top there. And I'm not sure, but I think some of you might think that this was supposed to be a completely isolated greenhouse with only one wall for growing, or yeah, those kind of really hardcore geothermal greenhouses. Well, it's not the case here. I'm only going to use my geothermal to extend my season. So my idea is to be able to grow from, let's say, March instead of May, late May, maybe June, and be able to continue all the way to up until now, I think. It is actually incredibly warm November, and actually October also was really warm. So normally by now we will have snowfall, and we actually had a snowfall for a few days. So I was able to get the greenhouse up. I think it was about 8 hours before it started to snow, so it was completely covered with all the polycarbonate plates and everything, and it was about 8 hours before it started to snow heavily. So I wasn't able to continue the building, but I see that now that it all melted, and I would have been able to finish it, so it wouldn't be that dangerous of a project. But yeah, that's what really happened. So I wanted to make this episode about how I set it up. It's going to be a time lapse, as all the videos that I made on this geothermal greenhouse, and it's not going to be a technical video. That's going to be for later, because I have made this now, and there is quite a few things that my wife would like me to take care of before I actually get down into testing the geothermal pipes and doing all that sort of things. Even though that would be my first go-to project now, there's a few things that needs to be taken care of before I could get into that. But we have until, I think, February to get the whole thing finished, or yeah, late February, I think. I have to get everything set up, and the fans and everything for the geothermal part. So it's not going to be too technical of a video. It's just me rambling on as usual and showing you how I set it up. It's probably not going to be too exciting. It's just, for me, it is really exciting because it's been a long journey, and I'm so happy to be able to get it finished. But why don't you just join me inside, and let's see how it looks. So this is the inside of the greenhouse. It is, I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's about 8 meters 25 in the length, and it's approximately 6 meters exactly in the width. So it's about 50 square meters, and that is a lot of grow area for me. I'm used to my small greenhouse, which is made out of glass and not polycarbonate, so there's no insulation at all, and it gets really cold at night. So I had been experimenting with supplemental heating, and that really showed that it was dropping down significantly at night if I didn't have the heating. So it wasn't really working as a greenhouse for me, but that's gonna be something that we're gonna take care of later. This is probably gonna be a little bit big the first year, I think. It's 50 square meters, and I really don't know what to put inside it. I'm going to grow peppers, I know for sure. I'm going to grow tomatoes, that's a staple. And I'm going to grow cucumbers, maybe some melons, eggplants. I don't know, all the kind of things that really requires a greenhouse up here in the cold regions of Norway. So I'm really open for suggestions on how to lay it all out, and I have some ideas myself. The first year it's gonna be, next growing season, it's gonna be all about trying to just get into the groove of the new space. I'm not going to do anything too heavy. It's going to be a really simple thing. I'm going to focus on getting the geothermal heating system ready. This is the pipes that I have 4 pipes, so there's 4 different sections of air running through here. And my fans, I haven't decided on a system. I was thinking about using 1 big industrial fan or 4 separate strong fans. This is kind of an experiment that I've been just putting in there to get the airflow so I could measure temperatures as for now, just for fun of it. And the soil is exactly 6 degrees Celsius now. And the real effect of the geothermal part will not be shown until about this time of the year next year. We're gonna use the whole growing season next year to pump warm air through the soil and warming up the core underneath the greenhouse. And then when we get around September, October, November next autumn, we're gonna try to circulate that warmth back into the greenhouse. And about that time we will really understand how this is going to work and see the effect of it. I'm expecting we could maybe double the temperature in Celsius. So for now it's just gonna be, it's not gonna be something that I'm going to do an awful lot with this winter because it's going to be cold, and I expect that. What I will do is try to, once I get into February and it's really, really cold here, we get down to maybe minus 30 degrees Celsius, and that is really cold. I don't expect to be able to heat this up to a steady 0 degree or something, but I will try to see what type of effect the warm temperature going back into the soil will have. And I'm going to measure everything. I have some pipes all over, the red pipes. They are for my temperature sensors. So I want to be able to measure the temperature, not exactly inside the air pipes, because that's going to be a little bit flawed and it's not going to represent the whole core temperature of the greenhouse. It's going to be very tied to what type of air I run through it, if it's cold or if it's warm temperatures from the ceiling. So it's not going to be accurate at all. So that's why I have separate pipes for temperature sensors. I'm also going to, of course, put temperature sensors down into the pipes on the intake and the outlet, and measure everything. So I'm going to have a ton of data once I really get into this. I would say about springtime. So I'm expecting that when we get a little bit onto the new year, we're going to do some videos about really trying to figure out how this all is going to work and trying to see what type of sensors we're going to use. And yeah, I keep saying we, but this is more about my journey, and you're a hopeless viewer just sitting there looking inside the periscope and try to figure out what the heck is doing over there. But I really value your input on everything that I do, and I can really take constructive criticism about this project. I know there's been a few things that has been flawed in my design and everything, but I really don't care. This is for fun, and I'm doing this as an experiment. I have 50 square meters, and what I'm planning on doing is supplying my family with tomatoes. So that's my kind of level of expectation on this whole thing. So everything that is working is going to be a bonus in this project. But I really value your input, and once we get a little bit further into the season, we can do some videos where we could discuss back and forward. I might do a live stream and just have a chat on how to lay this whole thing out. But I have so many ideas, and now I'm just rambling. So I don't think there's too much more to talk about at this point. It is, as I said, 6 degrees in the soil, and I've been trying. We have a steady 0 degrees outside at night, close to at night, and I've been running this one single pump. This one is rated for I think about 400 cubic meters of air an hour. And what I can measure actually on my outtake is, I would say, about 80% efficiency. And that is way above what I expected, given all the comments that I've been getting online and people saying that somehow this is probably not going to be worth it at all. And I would say 80% efficiency on a 60-watt fan, that is, for me, that is a success based on my expectations. So, but I've been running it at night just for fun, one single fan on one single run of the pipes. And it's been heating it to about 5.2 degrees steadily. And so that's a 5-6 degrees temperature difference from inside and the outside. And I think that's fantastic. So if I'm able to run four separate pumps or 4 fans at about the same rate, I would think that I would be able to sustain the temperatures pretty good, I would say, for my use, which is, if we get into September, we could have night temperatures going down to, let's say, -5, 6, 7 degrees Celsius, and I want to make sure that it stays above 0. That is my main goal for this project, and I think, based on my really non-scientific experiments as of now, that's probably going to work. So I'm excited about this. Leave comments down below. I know I'm rambling on, but it's a place for me to vent, and I know people actually searching my videos to see things about this type of greenhouse is probably going to be more interested than the people living around here. So I value your input, and down in the doobly-doos. So I'm going to stop talking now and just get into some time-lapse of me building the greenhouse, just setting it up. It was a 2-day build, and yeah, I'll just leave it to you, and you can see how I was able to set it up. At this stage, everything was actually pretty much built. The only thing that was left was to get some more soil into the steep hills, and the wall was already built, and I wanted to film that, but it was raining that day, and I didn't want to put my camera outside in the rain, so you're just gonna have to take what you get here. And my neighbor, my awesome neighbor, that actually is the one that is providing the property for me, he graciously offered to help me clean up the whole thing, and he has a little bit bigger excavator than what I have access to. So and he's actually he knows what he's doing. So it was nice to have somebody help me clean the whole thing up and get it somewhat level. We was just roughly making everything level, and we were cleaning up some more into the hill that was going to be behind the house, and eventually I ended up with having to level the whole thing about, yeah, I would say 6, 7, 8 centimeters. So that's something that I just did with a shovel, and it really wasn't a big deal. So that way I got the frame for the greenhouse quite level. Everything was about to get finished, and I actually set up the frame. It was made by 2x6 treated woods frames, and I got the whole thing set up, and it was it was actually snowing, and it was quite cold and at night, so it was completely dark, but I managed to get everything as level as can be. I think it is pretty level. And we started. I got my good friend that helped me take down the greenhouse where I bought it, was actually offering me to put it up also. And thank you, Ole Martin. I really do appreciate your help. I wouldn't have been able to set the whole thing up myself, because there is quite a bit large parts, and as you can see, the main beam that's actually going from one side up to the roof and down on the other side, it's not simple to handle that alone. So I'm really helpful that I got some help, and what we're doing there is just put up all the support beams for the polycarbonate plates. It is 10 millimeter 3-layer polycarbonate, and I am really anxious to see how that works. I don't know exactly, I haven't researched the thermal capacity of those plates, but I think they're supposed to be decent. If I were to build something myself, I would have used 16 millimeter 6-layer, but I think the 10 millimeter is going to do for now. I don't have any plans on exchanging those, and the plates that I have for this greenhouse, it's actually pretty decent condition on those, so I'm not worrying too much. The whole build was done in 2 days. The first day we put up the whole frame, so basically this is the first day. And the second day, no, this is actually the second day. The first day we got the whole frame up, and the second day we put in the roof. I got some help for the roof plates, and the last plates on the sides was something that I was going to do myself, and I did that later the same day that we put in the roof. And this was kind of a hurry because it was supposed to snow the day after, and it did. So we got up all the big plates in the roof section. It was kind of tedious because the plates are not very flexible. Well, they're somewhat flexible, but it's a really tight fit, and we got them all in, and I was able to finish the rest of the greenhouse later that night. And I didn't film that, of course, because it was really dark, and I was just trying to get the whole thing finished before the snow. So in the end, I am really happy with the way this looks, and I can't wait for the next growing season. We're going to grow some fantastic produce in this house, and I am super stoked. So if you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below the description, and I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions if I'm able to answer your questions. And I just can't wait. It has been a fun thing to do, and I'm really happy about it. This is Christopher saying may the force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one.